Welcome to San Francisco's celebration of 100 years of flight and a parade of over 50 years of Pan American World Airways uniforms. I'm Joanne Swift from Miami, and I'm the international president of World Wings International. World Wings is a philanthropic organization of former Pan Am flight attendants with over 2,000 members worldwide. The models today are from the San Francisco and Seattle chapters of this very special alumni organization. When Pan Am began passenger service in the 1930s, the cabin was staffed with just male stewards and pursers. Here is Ted Johnson. Ted welcomes you aboard the Boeing 314 flying boat. In flight, he served his passengers wearing this snappy and elegant white dinner jacket. The romantic clipper ships were based at Treasure Island and hailed the beginning of passenger service across the Pacific. The clippers became a lasting symbol of Pan Am. Ted began his career on board the flying boats and also served in the Naval Reserve during World War II. He flew for Pan Am for 41 years. Pan Am hired its first stewardesses in 1944. When the first group of 7 stewardesses were in training, Pan American let them choose the color of their uniform. The Smith Gray Company, designers of the uniform, presented one in gray and one in blue. It was the heavenly blue one that was the unanimous choice. The shade of blue was officially named Tunis Blue after Pan Am's first chief stewardess, whose name was Elizabeth Tunis. The uniforms had style and flair. The skirt with a deep front kick pleat, and the hat an overseas cap. It followed the military style of the pilots' uniforms. Rhonda Ruderman and Mary DeVries are presenting it to you now. They're being escorted by Captain Fred Clark, whose uniform is based on the uniform of a naval officer with a double-breasted jacket, shiny buttons, and the white hat that the good guys always wore. The aircraft the women flew on were the Boeing 307 Stratoliner and the Douglas DC-3. In 1952, there was a slight change to the uniform, featuring a gored skirt shown by Doreen Goad. The color of the uniform remains the same for over 20 years. The luxurious Boeing 377 Stratocruiser was a favorite of passengers and of movie stars. It had berths and it had a staircase down to the lower lounge. 1954 to 59 showed little change in the style of the uniform. It remained a classic with a slightly shorter jacket and a very straight skirt. The other uniform requirements remained strict. Hair had to be cut to clear the collar. There was true red lipstick and matching nail polish. Girdles and always white gloves. There was black in the winter. This is Irena Lindbeck-Tibbetts, the president of San Francisco chapter of World Wings. There's a Douglas DC-6 and DC-7 appeared on the screen. In 1959, Pan Am ordered the first Boeing 707s and DC-8s and ushered in the age of jet travel. It captured the imagination of people, and they began to dream of traveling to distant and exotic lands. With the advent of the jets, Don Loper designed a new uniform for the women. It has a fitted short jacket with detail on the sleeves and the front of the jacket. The skirt was slim and straight, and also in the familiar Tunis blue. The addition of white piping changed the overseas cap. This is Donna Stables, who is here to model her own uniform from 1961. "1964 brought us a change from the classic style, and here's a boxy style jacket and pillbox hat that's reminiscent of the Jackie Kennedy look. It's also designed by Don Loper. You may recognize this uniform from the movie Catch Me If You Can. Picture Leonardo DiCaprio strutting through Miami International Airport. He was surrounded by a bevy of beautiful Pan Am stewardesses. This is Yuta Langlois, and she is strutting her own uniform and surrounded by two very handsome Pan Am captains, Fred Clark and Dwayne Shackey. "1969 brought us the Boeing 747, the jumbo jet, and the airplane that made everyone's dream of transoceanic travel a reality. The 747 changed the world of aviation forever, and our uniforms made a big change as well. This jaunty uniform was designed by Evan Picone and fashioned after a classic English riding habit. The women were now allowed to choose between two colors of suits with the distinctive bowler derby. The colors were called Superjet Blue and Galaxy Gold. Mr. Picone felt that he had designed a uniform of such quality that it would enhance the Pan American image. Shoes and purses up to this time had all been black, but now the accessories switched to tan. This is the early 70s, as you can see by the length of the skirt. This uniform took us to Vietnam and on the R&R flights, where the GIs fell in love with the miniskirts. Perhaps you were some of our guests on board, and we thank Bjorn Trucco and Karen Lawhing. In 1971 to 75, the uniform was modified, and so was our title. The uniform had a longer jacket, a flared skirt, and we were now referred to as flight attendants. Boots were an option. The uniform also had the extra flair of an optional reversible cape, as Joyce Fagerlin in her own uniform and Mary DeVries now demonstrate. "1975 to 1980 brought yet another major uniform change to Pan Am, and it was slacks. There were two colors of uniform, bright blue and navy, and for the first time, hats and gloves were optional. The hat Edith had designed for this uniform was a stylish cloche. Accessories were navy with a colorful red, white, and blue scarf. There were numerous options from which to choose, including an in-flight sweater. Please enjoy all the variations of this uniform as demonstrated by our models, Yululani Young, Diane Nolan, Julie McNair, and Jan Pokey. Adolfo designed Pan Am's final uniform, which was worn from 1980 to 1991. Again, it's a classic suit with several options, including a design-winning dress for the warmer climates. The color choices were navy, white, and a light gray blue. There were two hat styles. One was a Scotty and the other a small brim hat, and both were optional. The models are Maria Levy, Gundi Keene, Charlotte Larson, Liz Turlington, and Helene Hills, wearing her own uniform. Adolfo also designed a new uniform for the men. Their uniform had been the same since the 1930s, so here's handsome purser and in-flight director Jay Corrin in Adolfo for Men. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that's the story of the Pan American World Airways uniform.
Excuse me, Joanne. I'm sorry. This may seem a bit silly, but that is not the last of the uniforms. I better take control here.
Is that you, Hal?
Yes, Joanne. You forgot that Pan Am took reservations for the first moon flight. Here's the 2001 spaceship and my favorite uniform.
Leave the mail in a box, tie the hands of the clocks, hang your tears out to dry, leave your house on the fly, get away right away like today, for once in a lifetime, get into this world. Let the smoke blow its stack, leave the smog and the flak, turn the rain into shine, head for cloud number 9, get away right away like today, for once in a lifetime, get into this world. Pan Am makes the going great. makes the going great.